Pre-order the Clownfish TV comic book right now on Indiegogo. Go to clownfishtvcomic.com. That's clownfishtvcomic.com. This is a fun collection of all new comic strips based on dumb stuff we've said on the show. Again, that's clownfishtvcomic.com. You're gonna have to hurry. We're only taking pre-orders for a limited time. Now we're gonna get back into the show. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, this sounds like people in power might know there's a problem and they're trying to fix the problem. So I don't know how dismal it is.
We're going to talk about a rumor that Disney is taking a good hard look at the MCU going forward, and they're bringing new writers in to potentially try and salvage Phase 5. Now, we know that Victoria Alonso got ousted, and this is kind of curious that this is coming out at that same time as the writers' strike, so who the hell knows what's going to happen, but...
Well, they posted this today.
Yeah, so this is today.
The writers' strike's been going on for a couple days.
So there's obviously... something going on here, and they have to be looking at the box office returns. I mean, Ant-Man 3 did not do well. The projections for Guardians 3 are dropping, and Disney is not going to have another, billion-dollar Marvel movie anytime soon.
Well, the Marvels, I don't think people are really interested. Like, there hasn't been like a lot of, hype about that one either. And they pushed it back so many times. People are just like, well, it must suck or something.
So this looks like it could be potential damage control. Again, this is a rumor. It's coming from Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast. Take it with a grain of salt. We're going to look at this rumor and give thoughts on this rumor before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
You get a woohoo, and that is more excitement than we can muster up for the MCU currently. I have no excitement.
Well, I think that's what's going on, is that their movies are dropping off a cliff. Like, each one was like this mega blockbuster, and they're not performing, and they're ahead of the Guardians Galaxy 3 release. The places like Deadline have dropped the box office projections a couple times, but it was interesting. Like, they would drop it, but then they wouldn't mention that it dropped. They'd be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's going to beat Super Mario, guys.
Of course it is. Super Mario. I mean, actually, it would be really effing sad if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did not beat Super Mario Brothers in its like fourth week.
Well, it will. I mean, it'd be very hard pressed not to. But I'm just saying, it's like, they keep acting like it's a win, but they're changing the numbers to the bad, and they're not addressing that. Any other movie, they'd be like, their numbers are dropping. This is bad, guys. And then they're talking over it like, forget what you saw, 3 days ago. This is good. This is what
they did with the Dungeons and Dragons movie too. It actually came in a little better than the worst case scenario for it. The worst case scenario, it came out like 32.
And that was a win.
That was a win, but they actually thought that D&D was going to do up to $50 million opening weekend, and it did not. It did like 32 or 34.
Well, now they're saying like 110 to 120 for this one.
Yeah.
They're thinking. So apparently the rumor is they have 3 new writers that have been on, high profile projects or ones that did well.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to the writer's strike where it's like, well, the writers that perform should honestly receive more money and should receive bonuses.
Yes.
Things like that, which we've said repeatedly. And now it sounds like they have made some changes. So what he said, if you have been paying attention the last few weeks or months, you would notice that Marvel has been spending a lot of more money on writers. Just today, we saw the news that Nick... Is it, how do you say his name?
Pizzolatto?
I don't know.
Pizzolatto?
Nicky P. They brought in as a new writer on Blade. Just like Josh Friedman, the expensive Sarah Connor Chronicles writer. He's a big name writer in this town. They got him for Fantastic Four. And Lee Sung-jin, the Beef creator, which I got to watch that show, they just hired for Thunderbolts. Now, they had other writers on these projects as far as I know, and they're just bringing these people in to redo them. So they're one that hasn't been in progress too much. They're redoing the whole thing.
Yeah, so this is very telling. They're not going out to newbie writers anymore. Now, this is one of the biggest problems people had with like She-Hulk and stuff like that.
She-Hulk
was that they were hiring people that they had very little writing experience, very few credits, And instead, they were like diversity hires, basically. They were like, hey, this person's the right check boxes. Let's just throw them on a Marvel movie, give them carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Right.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, this does go hand in hand with something else they've mentioned, which I know it was on, I'm pretty sure it was on PNP blog it was mentioned. I don't know if we mentioned it in videos. Is that Kevin Feige wants to hire more established talent behind the camera. They think this is tied to, Spider-Man No Way Home and things like that they're trying to hire people who know what the hell they're doing. Like
they did at the beginning of the MCU.
Well, the only problem with that is if certain names we saw with the Eternals, though, too. That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. I mean, they hired someone who she got an Oscar, I think, the director,
for Nomadland or something.
For something completely unrelated to superheroes, but I mean,
another superhero movie didn't do well because she didn't get superheroes. James Gunn. They're like, James Gunn's gonna win with this weekend with. I don't know, guys. I mean, people are seeing it and they're saying that's not that bad or whatever. I don't know. I know I can't watch it if it turns out that the spoilers are as true as,
If PETA would be upset, so would Geeky. They're going to agree on something.
I will say eat beef, but
Yeah. I've heard it's pretty heartbreaking, but
I can't do it.
That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I mean, this is the thing.
It just means it's going to limit your audience.
Right. And a lot of the parents probably aren't going to take their kids if they hear, that this is true.
And it might be a really good movie, but I think it's limited. If that's true also, it could be very, very limiting. And plus, they have a PG-13 rating on it. Yeah. Squeaky was talking about it. He said, well, some of the stuff I heard, I would have thought it would have gone R.
Yeah.
But, that might limit people too. Like PG, I'm not going to take my kid to PG-13. I know it's our Lord saying fuck.
Yeah, well, most of the Marvel movies are PG-13, but people said that it really butts up against the R rating.
Skirts up. Oh, you're trying to not be misogynistic now. How sexist of you.
You can get away with one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. That's the rule. You can. So
I guess I shouldn't assume anybody can wear skirts.
I want to see the Spider-Man movie where he says the F-bomb.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't care anymore, I guess. When I watch the movie, I don't even know if I want to watch any more movies. I don't know.
Holy fuck, they killed Uncle Ben. Again.
when Stacy falls down and dies, I missed.
Fuck. I missed. I
don't know. But the takeaway, though, if this is true, but this is interesting because the second time we've heard something similar to this, then that tells me that people at Marvel and most likely at Disney who are making cuts and trying to make things profitable are taking notice. And they're shit, we're losing money. We were doing really well before we made these bad decisions. Maybe we should hire some people to try to walk it back. The problem is they're going to get so much pushback now from the people they've been pandering to.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they can get away with walking it back. But what else is interesting to me is this writer's strike, right? Where's Bob Iger? Like, I was looking into it, and we have now Paramount guys saying something about it too.
Yeah, actually, Paramount has a backup plan, and they're talking about the production delays. I mean, regardless of who they hire, if they're WGA, there's going to be a delay. So, how far back are they going to push the MCU?
It's going to get better. I think next week the directors' unions, they're up for negotiations too.
Oh my God.
So we're going to have the writers and the directors at the same time. So here's the thing. Yeah, Paramount Plus has a backup plan, and they've said it, and they've put a statement out, and we've heard from Zaslav, and we've heard from Netflix guy. What was it, Ted
Sarandos?
Yeah, Netflix guy. We have not heard jack shit from Disney and from Bob Iger. I thought he was the voice of the people. I thought he was so progressive and on your side. Well, why isn't he standing out there with the people on strike?
He's too busy talking to Tim Cook.
Disney. Here's the thing, Disney could be being the one to go out there first and being like, yes, they're right. Let's work with them.
Right.
Because he's all on their side. He's all for diversity and inclusion. He's all progressiveness. If you're not get with Disney, you're anti-business. Well, then Disney needs to be the one that goes out and offers all the money to these people first. Bob Iger would be the one to do that because he's the progressive choice that you're all shilling for.
I know, right?
Because he's a liberal, so we have to side with him. And the other people are just no good Nick, Republicans. I'm just like...
Yeah, but you know what? The no good Nick Republicans will keep on keeping on because their writers aren't union, and they'll find a way to get stuff done, right?
Right.
Is this Ricardo Montalban?
It looks like
Is that
him.
Khan?
I don't know.
On strike. I can just see the studio head with this out the window. Come!
I'm just saying. Where is Bob Iger and Disney's statements? We've heard from pretty much all the other big studios, but we're not hearing from them.
That is very curious, and especially with them being so hot to get into politics right now, that'd be a great time
to prove your
solidarity.
You're on their side, right?
Yeah, right.
You're on the side of the people. You're progressive. You won with them, right, Bob? So prove it.
So let me get this straight. So we're knee deep in this WGA strike. Mm-hmm. Every other studio head is making comments on the strike. Lots of celebrities are making comments on the strike. And the only news we're hearing is that Disney is going to replace inexperienced writers.
They've already replaced them.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, that's the news. Like, Disney's already replacing writers. But even though they're with other writers who are probably also union, But they're the ones that we're talking about. The ones that get it done, the ones that are successful, the ones that should get paid more and probably should get bonuses. And the ones that they're going to hire are the ones with a proven track record. And Disney's proving that true. So while you're out there yelling that you need more writers in the writer's room, Disney's fired the lower tier writers to bring in these expensive writers and paying a shit ton of money to these expensive writers and not you. Yeah. So, but it is interesting because that is one of the sticking points with the WGA is they think the writer's room should be full. They think everybody should be paid very well.
Regardless of how well you perform.
Right. And Disney's like, yeah, let's get rid of these. Basically, I'm going to say it. Let's get rid of the diversity hires, the people we hired that were inexperienced and cheap, probably.
And they were, but a lot of them have been. The Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania had an agenda. She-Hulk seems to have an agenda. No. I mean, I don't think She-Hulk was as bad as some people were saying.
It was
definitely,
worse.
It definitely was like here and there.
Yeah, and I'm sure Daredevil's going to be more.
Do not ruin Daredevil. I will put my foot up your ass, and not in a fun way.
I don't think that's ever fun.
I don't know. My feet are awesome, so it could be fun.
Oh God! Now you're going to get comments.
So. I'm serious. No. I'm gonna put it up there and twist. I just like do not mess with Daredevil. Do not fuck up Daredevil.
How come you've never done that with me?
Because you wouldn't want my foot up your ass.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
This is like, you won't let me.
I tried. You thought it was weird.
I'm kidding.
Right.
My mother is going to watch this and be like, what is wrong with you?
This guy, okay, so wait. They put the guy who was the writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 in charge of the big send-off for Phase 5 of Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Yes.
What the hell were they thinking?
That's the problem. They're realizing, what the hell were we thinking? And they're asking questions, and they're making these billions of dollars in cuts, and they're trying to pivot to profit, and that's basically what they're doing. He'll tell you that's what they're doing. They're making all these cuts and all these decisions. I'm still trying to figure out when they're going to hit Star Wars with Kathleen Kennedy's bright idea of, let's do another movie with Rey. But, they want to make money. I wouldn't.
No.
But, unless they treat Rey the way they treated Luke, and then people would probably love it. But somebody somewhere is asking questions, you know? And this might be a very good thing. Like, this might not, if true, it could be a good thing.
Yeah, it might be.
But does anybody care?
I think by the time they fix it, by the time they get past the writer's strike, by the time they rearrange whatever they're going to rearrange, it could be, I mean, I'm like, how many years are they going to push these movies back? It might be now with the strike especially, and if they have to rework them, that they're not going to put Secret Wars out until like 2028 or something.
I don't know. I mean, they're replacing people.
Yeah,
well, those they haven't replaced anybody on yet. They say they might replace on those. But the other ones, like Thunderbolts, and they're like ones that haven't started production yet. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, which now the rumor is Kylo Ren's going to be... Yeah, Adam Driver's going to be Mr. Fantastic now.
Maybe. There were some really wild rumors, and I'm pretty sure it's not true.
About Thing.
Mila Kunis, that she was going to supposedly play the Thing. I'm like, they wouldn't. Here's the thing.
They would. It's believable is sad.
Like, when parody is believable, when it's beyond parody, when Disney's handling of Marvel is beyond parody, and you're like, well, they would never race swap, gender swap these characters, or change this character into that character, or merge these characters. We'd never have a giant floating baby-faced MODOK in a $200 million movie ever.
No, yeah, here we are.
But yeah, here we are.
Yeah, so the powers that be somewhere are starting to be like, wait.
It's not hard.
But the problem they have, and the truth of the matter is, even if they fix it tomorrow, is anybody going to come back? Is anybody going to care? Or has it completely been so, like, no, everybody's so used to not going to see Marvel movies now, or that they're so bad, they're just like, I'm not wasting my time. I don't know if it can be turned around.
I don't know if it can be either. I think at this point,
it's true.
I mean, they really... I mean, honestly, at this point, I would say just wrap up this stupid multiverse storyline as quick as possible, reset the universe, bring in competent writers and directors, and keep the characters true to themselves going forward.
Remember last year, after the ones, was it San Diego or whatever, one of the cons, they were going to have their writers, they're going to have the retreat to plan. Was it last year or the year before? They were going to have that retreat to plan the phases moving forward.
Because there was no plan.
Well, I mean, how many people that were at the retreat are now going to be gone because they have to replace. It's going to start turning to Star Wars, where everybody and their brother gets hired and then gets replaced. Yes. We've been seeing that forever with Lucasfilm. Well, now it sounds like it's going to go that way with Marvel. Yeah,
and look, I mean, they can fix it, but I honestly think at this point, the easiest solution is just reboot the universe, reboot it, and
I think no one's gonna care.
Keep the characters true to themselves.
You have to wait a few years. I don't think you can do it right now.
Disney never waits. Disney's like, oh no, hey, we just came out with Moana. Let's do live action Moana.
But it's dumb. If they're gonna reboot it, they're gonna need to rest it, and they're not. Like, it's like meat. You have to let it rest to let the juices distribute before it's in. Otherwise, it's dry and tough, and no one wants it.
You gotta let the juices
rest. Spread.
Whoa, what are you? Are we still talking about the foot at the ass thing?
No,
or what are we
the
talking
meat.
About?
You let the meat rest so that the juices settle and they spread.
Are we talking about actual meat?
Yes.
Okay, we're not. This isn't a euphemism.
No,
this is actual meat.
Like meat, like beef, like roast,
dead cow on a plate.
Yes, this is why PETA's not gonna like me after all.
Okay.
And you have to let it rest before you slice it, because otherwise it just takes the juices out of it and it's dry and hockey puck and no one wants it.
You have to let your meat rest. You can't tenderize it
before you go into the juice. So
yes.
So I'm just saying.
Your meat has to rest. Marvel, rest your meat.
Yes, before you start cutting it again.
You can't beat that meat all day.
No one wants dry meat.
Nobody wants dry meat.
And they need juicy meat.
That's what the MCU is now, just dry.
It's a hockey puck. It's like that overcooked steak that someone asked for well done and you want to slap them, like, what's wrong with you? It's like one of those.
Yeah, it's jerky.
Now they're just hitting people with it. Yeah, it's pretty much jerky. And they're just hitting people with it. It's like jerky. No one wants jerky.
Nobody wants to be jerked.
They want juicy.
They want juicy. They don't want to get jerked, okay? That's what you got to...
Why do you keep taking everything I say?
We're talking about the juicy.
It worse.
I always make things worse. Like, you put a little bit of innuendo in there, and I'm like, no, you got to shove the meat the whole way in. You can't just have the tip. You gotta have the whole rump roast.
Do you remember? Was it Big Daddy at the beginning? Or she leaves him for the old guy because he has a plan, and he's like his shriveled balls. That's what I keep thinking of when you say it's not juicy. It's jerky now. It's like shriveled balls.
And look what happened to her. That bitch wound up working at Hooters. She should have stayed with Adam Sandler.
Right. So I don't know where we're going with this.
Zach and Cody.
Basically, let it rest.
Both Zach and Cody.
I don't know. Probably. Let it rest.
Adam Sandler should let it rest. Yeah. Okay.
Just let it rest and then come back to it if you're going to reboot it. At this point, I don't know. I think at this point, just keep doing more and more. Just drying it out, and you need to do something because this isn't working, people.
You're going to need to get some.
And I'm so sorry for Neon in this video. He's getting looks from me like you won't believe.
It's late, and I'm really over the MCU. I don't care what they do with it. I don't care if Spider-Man is a freaking 500-pound black woman, blind, in a wheelchair, with lesbian lover. I don't care. I don't care. I am completely over Disney's handling of Marvel. To me, Marvel ended the day Disney signed the papers. I think Marvel...
Same with Star Wars.
Same with Star Wars. I think Marvel Comics, 2009, 2010, that's it. That's a good cutoff point. Like, everything after that is just stupid fam wank.
Would you stop?
And you gotta let it rest.
Yes, let it rest.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up?
Yes, rest it.
Okay, please subscribe for more quality quality, wholesome content like this.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.